Everyone, we're talking about how to ask questions to God and what questions we should be asking. It is a topic that you really don't hear a ton about. So I'm going to break this into two different things. There is just prayer, and prayer has a lot of different meanings and a lot of different reasons. And then there's actually asking God for things, and that's usually done through prayer. It can also be done through different means of divination, like they've used in the Bible. If you haven't heard about that, I have some other videos about divination in the Bible. So I'm going to be talking about asking questions to God, whether that's through prayer or other ways. So a lot of times people have anxiety about something, or they feel really bad about this situation or that, and they'll just bring it to God and just vent to him and tell him what's going on and say, I don't know what to do, God, or whatever. This is a pretty pathetic thing to do in most instances. And that may sound harsh, but God isn't just there for us to vent to. Yes, he understands, but that doesn't mean we need to use him just to vent our feelings. Oftentimes, we want a question answered, and we don't even know what question to ask. And that's where a lot of what I'll be talking about comes into play. So to start out, we need to figure out some things, why we're asking. And the first thing we should figure out is, do we already know the answer? Now, if we just went and vented to God, then nothing really was accomplished in our own lives. But if you went to start asking God a question about a situation, you may find that once you formulate a question to ask him, then you already know the answer. Should I do this? Is this wrong or right? That type of thing. Usually you have the understanding in your life to know if something should be done, if something is right or wrong, those type of things. So that type of question doesn't really need to be asked. If you can already answer it yourself, then it's great that you formulate the question and now you have your answer, but it's not something that you need to just bring to God if it's already answerable. God created us with a good understanding of what we can and should do, and we're created in the image of God. He expects us to make good decisions. The next thing you should find out about your question once you've started to form it is, are you just asking God to tell you what to do? Now, once again, God created us in his image. He created us with a free will, and he doesn't really tell us to do things. And if he has, then obviously you wouldn't be asking a question for it. But just asking to be told what to do is not a mature Christian thing to do. You have knowledge, you have understanding, and you should use that to make good decisions. You can't just cop out and say, I'm not going to do life, tell me what to do. You need to stand on your own 2 feet and actually take responsibility for your choices. So the next thing you should find out about your question once you started to formulate it is, are you trying to change yourself or find out things about yourself, or are you trying to change other people or situations? Now, this goes into definitely a thought process of lines of thinking that different people have, but I think most of the time in most religions, you'll find that it's not actually acceptable to try to change other people. It's not our jobs. So if you start going down that path, you're just going to have infinite paths of entanglement, and it's going to be so difficult to find out what you're actually supposed to be doing in life, because you're going to be able to change more things and help more people and really change the world more by focusing on yourself, becoming the right person, making the right choices. And so your questions to God through any means should be about that. Should be about you. and what you are thinking and what's going on in your life. If you've ruled out all those things that you really shouldn't be asking for, then what are you actually asking God for? Now, what you typically need from God and higher beings is information. We have, like I said, free will to do things. We have the ability to understand and discern what we should be doing. But if we don't have all the information or more information, then it's very difficult to make choices sometimes. So a lot of our questions should be about that, about gaining information. So what type of information? Information that we don't have, or that we can't understand very well at this time. So if you're having some anxiety or just not having peace in your life, then the information you might be asking is, what part of my life is being affected? Why am I feeling this way? Is it work? Is it my relationship? Is it this or that? Is it money? What is the issue right now? That's a question that you can get an answer to, and then use a lot more discernment and discovery to figure out that part of life, what's going on, and how you can fix it. Now, learning how to ask good questions has been probably one of the biggest benefits studying divination has been for me. Once again, it's so easy to just go to God in prayer and just vent and just spill all of your emotional baggage onto Him. And that's super easy and doesn't help a ton oftentimes. But if you sit down in front of some divination tools like lots or runes or a tarot, and you're asking God a question and you're getting an answer, you have to really start discerning what's going on and focusing in on what this question is and how you're going to understand the answer for that question. And just the process of doing that in different things in your life is going to help you out so much in so many different ways. So as a basic recap, we can't be asking for God to just run our life and for us to have no say in it or guide in it, because that's not what God does. He created us to live our lives. We can't be asking Him to change the world around us and the people around us so that they work the way we want them to. That's not our place to do that. We have control over our own lives, our own souls, our own thoughts, and we need to be asking questions to get information so that we can actually make good decisions, so we actually know what's going on. My name is Micah Blake once again, and if you have any questions about divination or different ways of asking God and finding information from Him, just leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories and where you're at right now.
We are so blessed. We can pray anywhere and for any reason. But how do we know when God answers? The tools to hear have been in the Bible all along. Signs, lots, dreams, angels, visions. These are all ways that men of God heard from Him. And with a little practice, you can get answers too. Divination in the Bible has helped many people. You can get it in the format that's best for you. Start your practice and get clarity on the questions in your life today. Give me wisdom.